At 88, Dyan Cannon just made a confession that has Hollywood stunned. The legendary actress casually revealed she has several friends with benefits and goes on multiple dates each week. But that's not even the shocking part. In 2025, she was caught lying to the Secret Service about her real age. She listed 1950 instead of 1937 on her passport to feel younger. When they found out, she was interrogated for 45 minutes. Now people are wondering what else she's been hiding all these years. Dyan Cannon was born on January 4, 1937 in Tacoma, Washington. Her real name was Samuel Dyan Fsen. She grew up in a quiet home filled with deep contrasts. Her mother, Claire Portoy, was a Jewish immigrant from Ukraine who had escaped terrible violence. Her father, Ben Fun, was a Mennonite man from Canada who sold life insurance. They didn't have much money, but they tried their best. Her mother had lost a grandmother during the Russian Revolution, a horrifying memory that Dyan would never forget. That pain stayed in the family. Growing up, Dyan faced cruel bullying at school because of her Jewish background and her darker features. People mocked her looks and called her names. But even as a child, she had a spark. By the time she was 5, she was already performing in local plays. Her mom would sew her costumes and her dad worked hard to support the family. Dyan had a stutter that made school even harder, especially when she had to speak in front of the class. But in her bedroom, she would practice alone, dreaming of escaping to Hollywood. When she was just 13, something surprising happened. In 1950, she won the Miss West Seattle Beauty Contest. It came with a small cash prize and a fake rhinestone crown. But to her it meant the world. Even though people whispered behind her back saying she looked too ethnic, she stood tall and proud. She earned her first modeling job soon after posing for Sears catalogs in 1951. She made $5 an hour and used that money for dance lessons. She practiced tap dancing every day for hours. But even then, the insults didn't stop. Some kids vandalized her contest sash with hate symbols. It was cruel. Still, she kept going. Her dark curly hair and olive skin didn't match the blonde image everyone wanted, so she was rejected often. But that just made her stronger. She joined West Seattle High School in 1951 and quickly became the star of the drama club. She played Emily Webb in Our Town in 1953, and the school paper gave her glowing reviews. But she was still secretly fighting that old stutter which had been with her since she was 4. In 1952, during a class report, she froze and classmates laughed. That night she cried, then promised herself she would never let that happen again. She began taking weekly voice lessons for $2 a session. She practiced for hours every night, working on tongue twisters and breathing exercises. She even directed plays by her junior year. At the same time, hateful symbols appeared on her locker, and still she kept going. Her acting got better and she won Best Actress awards 3 years in a row. She graduated in 1955 with a GPA of 3.2. Her grades in the arts were strong and it was clear she was born for something bigger. In 1957, when she turned 20, she left Tacoma and moved to Los Angeles. She had only $100 in her pocket and slept on her cousin's couch. Producer told her she needed a new name for Hollywood, so she changed it to Dyan Cannon. She got a job modeling dresses in a department store for $75 a week. She auditioned constantly but was rejected dozens of times because she didn't look like the typical Hollywood blonde. She shared a small apartment with 3 other actresses and sometimes could only afford 1 meal a day. She tried taking classes at UCLA but left after 1 semester to focus on acting full-time. She studied under Sanford Meisner and paid $10 a week for lessons. During this time, she got engaged to a nightclub owner named Sunny Orling, but she realized it was a mistake and ended it. She once ran from an audition after it turned creepy. It was a hard life, but she never gave up. In that same year she got her first break as a nightclub singer. She performed jazz songs at a small place called The Losers, making $50 a night. She sang songs by Ella Fitzgerald and even some originals. People noticed her voice, but not everyone was kind. Patrons made inappropriate comments, and some agents told her she looked too foreign for lead roles. She refused to play villains or stereotypical characters. She was offered 20 roles like that, but turned them all down. Sometimes she barely had enough to eat. She modeled on the side and earned $200 a month, just enough to survive, but the pain built her armor. In 1959 she finally landed small roles on TV, including an episode of Bat Masterson's Son. She wasn't just surviving anymore, she was getting noticed. Her first screen role came in 1958, though she didn't get credit for it. She played a waitress in an episode of Have Gun Will Travel and had only 2 lines, but she was grateful for that chance. She was just 21 and had worked so hard to get there. That same year she got a few more guest roles, including a character named Nicole McCready in Wanted Dead or Alive and Mary Lowry in another Bat Masterson episode. These roles showed she could act, not just smile. But she had to keep turning down offers that wanted her to take off her clothes or act in sleazy parts. She didn't want to be seen that way. She wanted to be respected. In 1960, Dyan got her first real movie role in The Rise and Fall of Legs Diamond. She played Dixie, a gangster's girlfriend. She was just 23, and the film made over $1 million. But the part was seductive and dangerous. And while people praised her, it also made directors typecast her. She kept getting offers to play the same kind of roles. She said no. She once lived on just $10 for an entire week while crashing on friends' couches. One co-star even made an inappropriate advance during filming. She threatened to quit. She appeared in other shows like Hawaiian Eye and Tombstone Territory, but the pay was still low and the respect she deserved wasn't coming fast enough. Between 1960 and 1962, she turned down over 20 roles that would have paid her $5,000 each. Instead, she chose to appear in TV shows like Bat Masterson and Ripcord. In 1961, during the filming of Ripcord, she almost got seriously injured while doing a helicopter stunt. She kept saying no to directors who wanted to take advantage of her, including one who asked her to audition in a hotel room. She borrowed money from family, ate ramen noodles, and studied acting whenever she could. In 1962, she signed with Warner Brothers, which sounded like a dream come true. But she was stuck playing background characters who smiled and said lines like, "Hello, handsome." She made just $300 a week while male actors made thousands. By 1964, she decided to take a break. She went to New York and studied acting under Sanford Messner. She took 5-hour classes every day, cried through the exercises, and found new depth in her performances. That same year, she turned down a $10,000 role in a risque movie. She didn't want to be typecast forever. She waited tables to get by. Once she served coffee to a producer who had rejected her, but the struggle made her stronger. In 1963, she joined the national tour of the Broadway show How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. She played Rosemary and did over 100 shows in 20 cities. People loved her timing and charm, but things backstage weren't always friendly.